Good morning, everyone. Our topic for today is lesson 2-5 subtract decimals, and you will find this lesson on page 83 up to 86 from your book. Here are the learning objectives for today's lesson. You're going to subtract decimals to the hundredths using standard algorithm, solve problems involving subtracting decimals to the hundredths. Let's analyze this problem. Miss Garcia is an electrician and has a length of wire that is 32.7 meters long, or 32 and 7 tenths. She has another length of wire that is 15 and 33 hundredths meters long. How much longer is one wire than the other? Solve this problem any way you choose. If we're going to analyze this student's work, this is for Darcy's work. Darcy aligns the decimal points and regroup as needed. So 32.70 subtract 15.33. So 0 minus 3, always remember that you need to start from the last digit. So 0 minus 3 cannot be, we need to borrow from 7, and 7 becomes 6. Then 0 becomes 10, because the one that you borrowed is always equivalent to 10. So this is 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3 is equivalent to 7. Then 6 minus 3 is equivalent to 3. Then you need to copy the decimal point. Then 2 minus 5 cannot be. We need to borrow from 3. 3 becomes 2, and 2 becomes 12. Because the one that we borrowed is equivalent to 10, then we have 2. That's why the answer is 12. So 12 minus 5 now is equivalent to 7, and 2 minus 1 is equivalent to 1. So one wire is 17 and 37 hundredths meters long than the other wire. Look at Trevor's work. Trevor subtracts the whole number first, then subtracts the decimal part. As you can see, 32.7 subtracted to 15 instead of 15.33. So 32 minus 15, that is equivalent to 17, then just copy 0.70. Then from 17.70, we need to subtract the other decimal, which is 0.33. So 70 subtract by 0.33, that is 0.37. Then we just simply copy 17. So the longer wire is 17.37 meter long. How can you use addition to check the problem about Miss Garcia's wires? So first, you need to use the place value to align the number being subtracted and the difference, and then odd. So the sum should be the number subtracted from 15.33 plus 17.37 equals 32.70, and 32.70 is equivalent to 32.7 tenths. So how can you subtract decimal? What is the difference in the wingspan of the two butterflies? So these are the two butterflies. So the wingspan of this butterfly is 4.37 centimeter. And this one, the wingspan is 5.92 centimeters. So it is asking you to find the difference. So we're going to subtract these two. So the first step in subtraction decimals is to write the numbers lining up the decimals. The hundreds place must be in one line. The tens place must be in one line. The decimal point must be in one line, and the ones place must be in one line also. Then after that, subtract the hundreds place, or subtract the last digit, then regroup if needed. So 2 subtract by 7 cannot be, so we need to borrow from 9. 9 becomes 8, and 2 becomes 12. 12 minus 7, that is equivalent to 5. Then the next step, you need to subtract the tenths. The tenths place is 8. So 8 minus 3, that is also 5. Then we need to subtract the ones place. 5 minus 4, that is 1. So the difference in the wingspan is 1.55 centimeters. So the estimate was 2, so the difference is reasonable. If you're going to estimate 5.92, this is nearest to 6. And 4.37, this is nearest to 4. So if I'm going to subtract 6 minus 4, so the estimated answer is 2, and your answer is 1.55. So 1.55 is nearest to your estimated answer. Therefore, your answer is reasonable. An average adult's upper leg measures 19.88 inches, and the lower leg measures 16.94 inches. How much longer is the upper leg than the lower leg? Use a bar diagram to help. If we're going to find the difference between the two, by following the steps, you need to align all the numbers to its proper place. So 16.94. So 8 minus 4 is 4, and 8 minus 9 cannot be. We need to borrow from 9. 9 becomes 8, and this 8 becomes 18. So 18 minus 9 is 9, and copy the decimal point. 8 minus 6 is 2, then 1 minus 1 is 0. That's why the answer is 2.94. Now, let's answer the following. Explain why 1.55 centimeters is a reasonable answer for the difference in the wingspan of two butterflies. So we answered that already on the previous question, because 1.55 is close to estimate of 2 centimeter. So Maria rewrote 45.59 and 7.9 as 45.59 subtract by 7.90. Is the value of 7.9 changed by annexing a 0 after 7.9? Why or why not? So the answer is no, because 7.9 and 7.90 are equivalent decimals, because both 7 are in the ones place and both 9 are in the tens place, and 0 has no value. Let's subtract. Number 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. 8 minus 2 is 6. Then copy the decimal point. 6 minus 5 is 1. Then bring down 1. That's why the answer is 11.61. The same thing in number 4. We need to put 0 before we subtract. So 1 minus 0 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 7 minus 6 is 1. So the answer is 1.11. Another, 6 minus 4 is 2. 0 minus 2 cannot be. We need to borrow from 3. This 3 becomes 2, and this 0 becomes 10. So 10 minus 2 is 8. Then, we need to copy the decimal point. So 2 minus 8 cannot be. We need to borrow from 2. 2 becomes 1, and the other 2 becomes 12. So, 12 minus 8 is 4, and we need to bring down 1, so the answer is 14.82. Another, minus 2 is 6. 0 minus 1 cannot be, so we need to borrow from 4. 4 becomes 3, and this 0 becomes 10. So 10 minus 1 is 9. Then we need to copy the decimal, and 3 minus 2 is 1, so the answer is 1.96. The same thing, if the given is horizontally, you need to make it vertical to make it easy. Like 56.8, we need to align the numbers and the decimals in its proper place. So 2.76. So why I put 2 here below 6? Because 2 is ones place and 6 is ones place. Okay? Then after that, we need to add 0. So 0 minus 6 cannot be, so we need to borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7, then this 0 becomes 10. So 10 minus 6 is 4, then 7 minus 7 is 0, then copy the decimal. 6 minus 2 is 4, then bring down 5, so the answer is 54.04. The same thing in number 8, we have 43.80, subtract to 16.00. So 0 minus 0 is 0, 8 minus 0 is 8, copy the decimal. 3 minus 6 cannot be, we need to borrow from 4. 4 becomes 3, and this 3 becomes 13. So 13 minus 6 is 7, then 3 minus 1 is 2, so the answer is 27.80. Next, number 9, we have 22.4. I'm going to align all the numbers to its proper place. So 10.7. So 4 minus 7 cannot be. We need to borrow from 2. 2 becomes 1. 4 becomes 14. So 14 minus 7 is 7. We need to copy the decimal point. 1 minus 0 is 1, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So the answer is 11.7 or 11.70. Another example, 36.40 subtract 21.16. So the decimal must be here to make it one line. So 0 minus 6 cannot be, so this must be 3, and this must be 10. So 10 minus 6 is 4, 3 minus 1 is 2, then copy the decimal, 6 minus 1 is 5, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So the answer is 15.24. Now it's your turn. Please pause the video and answer the following. Time is up. The answers are, let's check your answers. 2, 6, 5, 6, 3, 0, 7, and 2. So those are the missing numbers when you subtract those given numbers from number 11 up to 14. Let's check your answers from number 15 to 26. Number 15 is 10.921, 16 is 10.1, 17 53.13, 18 is 51.19, 19 is 3.44, 20 is 21.88, 21 is 41.72, 22 is 5.55, 23 is 1.87, 24 is 15.33, 25 is 17.7.74, and 26 10.42. Now, let's analyze the mathematical practices and problem solving. The pyramid of Kepler measured 143.5 meters high. The pyramid of Menkaure measured 65.5 meters high. Write and solve an equation to find d as a variable, the difference in the heights of these two pyramids. So what are we going to do is to subtract 143 meters high, subtract to 65.5. So if I'm going to subtract that 143.5 subtract by 65.5. So 5 minus 5 is 0. 3 minus 5 cannot be. We need to borrow from 4. 4 becomes 3 and this becomes 13. Then copy the decimal point. 13 minus 5 is 8. 3 minus 6 cannot be. We need to borrow from 1. 1 becomes 0 and 3 becomes 13. So 13 minus 6 is 7. So the answer is 78.0 or 78 meters. Number 28. Joanna bought a 1.5 liter bottle of seltzer. He used 0.8 liter of seltzer in some punch. Which is greater, the amount he used or the amount he has left? Explain how you decide. So to answer this question, you need to subtract 1.5 liter, subtract to 0.8 liter, and that is equivalent to 0.7. Okay? Now, 0.7 is less than 0.8. 0.8 is the one that he used, and the remaining is 0.7. Therefore, the amount he used is greater than the amount left. So Sue subtracted 2.9 from 20.9 and he got 1.8. Explain why this is not reasonable. If it is asking for reasonable, you just simply estimate. So 2.9 is nearest to 3 and 20.9 is nearest to 21. So 21 minus 3, the answer must be 18. About 18, not 1.8. That's why the answer, which is 1.8, is not reasonable. A good estimate is 21 minus 3 equals 18, and 1.8 is not close to your estimation. EB had 156.43 in his bank account at the beginning of the month. He made 2 withdrawals shown in the check register. So this is the check register. How much money does he have left in his bank account? He must have at least $100 in his account by the end of the month, or he will be charged a fee. How much money does he need to deposit to avoid being charged a fee? The original balance is 156.43. So what are we going to do is to subtract 156.43, subtract by 24.97. So 156.43 subtract by 24.97. So 3 minus 7 cannot be. We need to borrow from 4, becomes 3, and this becomes 13. 13 minus 7, that is equivalent to 6. Then 3 minus 9 cannot be. This becomes 5. We need to borrow 1, and this becomes 13. And 13 minus 9 is 4. And 5 minus 4 is 1. 5 minus 2 is 3. Then bring down 1. Then so the answer is 131.46. From 131.46, we need to subtract again 39.41 for the second withdrawal. So 6 minus 1 is 5. 4 minus 4 is 0. 1 minus 9 cannot be. This becomes 2. This becomes 11. 11 minus 1 is 2. This becomes 0. And this becomes 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. So the remaining balance is 92.05. So in order to complete $100, what you need to do is to subtract 100, subtract by 92.05. Okay? So how are we going to subtract? We need to add two zeros. So we need to borrow from 1 becomes 0, this becomes 9, becomes 9, becomes 9, and this becomes 10. So 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 0 is 9, then 9 minus 2 is 7, then 9 minus 9 is 0. So the answer is 7.95. The balance is 92.05 and he has to deposit at least 7.95 to avoid a fee. That's the correct answer. Number 31, which two subtraction problems have a difference of 1.65? Write the subtraction problems in the box. So the answers are 11.23 minus 9.58 and 21.74 minus 20.09. So that's it. Thank you so much and have a nice day.